Take a drive on a mountain road. It's a beautiful day. The curves are dangerous, though. There's not guardrails. If you miss a turn, if something were to happen and you were to go too fast, run off the outside of the turn, it's hundreds of feet down into the canyons below. You're coming around a corner. You're enjoying the day. The temperature's just right. It's a little warm, but not too warm. A bit of a breeze. Sun's in a cloudless sky. And all of a sudden, you hear plink. Welcome to Wolf's Watch. I'm Wolf. Thanks for joining us. Today, I want to talk with you about the importance of play. Yes, the importance of play, recreation. What do you do to play? And sometimes we do that in work and it's still serious work. This is specifically outside of work. Do you like to swim? Do you go hiking? What is it? Do you have a hobby? Well, in this case, for me, yesterday, Sunday, I was out in the mountains. Let me share this with you. Here's where I was at. So I took this picture about 15 minutes before I had an equipment failure on the road that winds out of here, which in this shot, you can't really see. It's off to the left of the screen a little bit. But I was in this area, and as you can see, it's pretty rugged. You got cactus, cliffs, beautiful. That's Lake Casitas in the background. It's a beautiful day in between Santa Barbara, California, and Ojai, California, in the mountains. Having a wonderful day. The point here is about 10, 15 minutes after this picture was taken, I heard that ominous sound, plink, and knew immediately what had happened because I was shifting gears and I was on my motorcycle and shifting gears and do this and pull in on the clutch lever. Here, plink, and the lever goes soft, as we would say. There's no connection. It's no longer connected to anything. It's just hanging in a breeze off of the handlebars. So now what that means, if you're not a motorcycle rider, what that means is I now have no way to shift gears. Without the clutch, it's hard to shift gears. Now, to say there's no way to shift gears, there's a way to do it, but it's not recommended because it's hard on the transmission. This is why I'm bringing this up with you. So here it is. This is a fun but dangerous area because if someone drifts over the yellow line, it can be hit. There's not a lot of room to get out of someone's way. If you lose control, you can easily slide into a mountainside or off the mountain into the canyons below. So you have to be careful. This is serious play. That wasn't racing. It was a beautiful day. It was out with friends. We were celebrating a couple that's retiring and moving permanently to Ireland because my buddy's wife is Irish. Story for another time. The point here, again, is during serious play, something goes wrong. That has ramifications. Now, how do you respond to a situation like that? I was very aware for the next several hours because I was over 100 miles away from home in an area that at best has spotty cell reception. So to call for a flatbed, can't put a motorcycle on a tow truck. You need to have a flatbed truck to stand the motorcycle up on while it's being towed. And it was Sunday. Can't go to a repair shop, can't call a repair shop, can't get parts. What to do? And even a lot of the tow services are running slower on a Sunday. Counterintuitive, I know, but in the motorcycling community, that's the day that a lot of people will have the only opportunity to get out and ride, so they're not available. Coming to the point, hang with me. I still enjoyed the day. I still had an incredible ride through the mountains. Still had a decent ride home. There were challenges at times, and I had to push start. Part of this bootstrapping the situation was when I would come to a red light, I'd have to make sure I was in neutral, otherwise the motorcycle would stall. And then when I started, had to get a running start, had to push the motorcycle. So this is a 500, 600 pound motorcycle. I have to get it rolling, then force it into first gear and accelerate it away, which meant having space to do that also without, slamming into a car in front of me or something like that. So fortunately, most of the time I was out of heavy traffic. It's getting a little bit off. Just want to set the table for you here so we can talk about this. Through all that, I was very aware of the conversation going on here. And that's why I asked, how would you respond? Because that could have really ruined what was an otherwise incredible day. Yet I was really aware of my internal response to that in terms of I stayed focused on, okay, I'm not in immediate danger because as long as I'm rolling, And with the Harley Davidson, you don't have to do a lot of gear shifting. I was in a proper gear so that even though I could run rev the engine a little bit more than I would like, it's still not dangerously revving. And where I needed to slow down, I could slow down enough without stalling the motorcycle or causing problems. Not optimal, but still very functional. So that was my first assessment. I'm okay on that. I can get through the mountains and going, this is a beautiful day. What am I going to do? Am I going to get all wrapped around the axle? Am I going to let this go? Oh, what does this happen? What do I do? Get panicked about it. I had water with me. I always have water and some almonds to snack on when I'm out on motorcycle rides like that. So I can enjoy the day and stay hydrated. And, I'm feeling a little hungry, have a little bit of a snack and stay sharp because it's a high activity, it's a high focused, attentive activity. Right? You're using both hands and both feet, plus keeping an eye on what's going on around you, looking, watching your speed, looking at what's off on the side of the road. Because sometimes we almost got hit by an owl that was coasting through a mountain pass on a road one day, a group of us that were coming through. So you're watching what's coming from the sides of the road, what's behind you, what's coming at you from the front. So it's a very, very active form of play. One of the things I enjoy about it helps keep me sharp. Imagine what I'd be like if I wasn't doing that to stay sharp. Easy. But again, I've stayed focused on what do I need to do next. So the first thing was, need to get out of the mountains, need to see, is there someplace we can stop to seek repairs? What are we doing? So got through all of that, and it's just step by step all the way back to a spot where I got a few miles from home, and I finally called a couple of friends who came and helped me out, and we put the motorcycle on a truck. But I was still calm through all of that, and stayed in that moment of, this is okay in the moment. What's the next step? So it was a very focused activity. It's like, here's what's happening right now. What's the next step going forward? Do I need to stop here, get the motorcycle towed? Can I keep going? Can I stop for gas? Can I find a place to stop for gas where I can get in and out without not just convenience to me, but without causing a lot of traffic problems, without creating a big safety problem in traffic because I can't maneuver properly? And that carried into Monday. Right? Monday, have a few challenges. As you know, stuff always happens, right? Especially on a Monday for whatever reason. We had a few challenges, with email and some other things that were going on, or things weren't functioning right, and still carried that same, I was aware of that same sense of, okay, what's the next step here? And it framed things differently, which comes back to the importance of play. That is part of the importance of play. It's the psychology of play, what it does for you psychologically in terms of not just refreshing and re-energizing, which is hugely important, also in terms of conditioning mindset. When we play, things go wrong. When we play, we don't always get the desired outcome, especially if it's competitive. Playing basketball or soccer, baseball, whatever your sport, it results in outcomes that you may not like. So it's how do you deal with that? Sportsmanship. We call it sportsmanship in competition in terms of how you respond to things that don't work out the way you want them to. How do you do that in the workplace? So play is very important for you, for your team as well, in order to continue honing that mindset, to continue practicing, to continue stretching boundaries, continue trying things you wouldn't normally try in work environment or family environment, right? And something that's a more formal environment, if you will, right? That's non-play, it's serious, you're going to have serious ramifications. We get an opportunity to do that and explore more. That's the importance of play. Plus, take a look at that picture. Get to spend some time out in the wilderness enjoying that. Oh my gosh, it's one of the most beautiful places on earth. It was an incredible day. Enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed your Sunday. So think about that. The importance of play and the effect it has on your mindset and the people around you. Are they doing those kinds of things? Do they have serious fun play that they engage in that helps them, helps them condition, helps them re-energize for one thing? It's good for physiology, is important with mindset. That affects our attitudes, our perspectives, how we feel emotionally. And then also doing things that stretch their emotions, stretch their physical ability, allow them to look at that and go, I don't know if I can quite do that. Rolling backwards off of a truck on a motorcycle ramp, not something that I was really excited about. I didn't think that was going to work. I had two people that I trusted very much. We talked about it briefly. Go, here's what we're going to do. And I'm like, all right, fine. You guys make sure you got me. And they're like, we got you. And I knew I could trust them. Kevin and Kim. I knew I could trust those two men to not let me fall over. And they're going, now you got to do your part in that. See, this is what brotherhood's about. When we talk about brothers and sisters on the road, this is what we talk about. So they're making sure the bike stays poised, doesn't run off the ramp. They're watching the ramp. So if I'm starting to roll off one or the other side of the ramp, they're going to give me a heads up on that. And I just relaxed and stayed centered on the motorcycle, controlled the brake, so we didn't get rolling too fast. Easy, very easy. Just rolled right back. I'm going, okay. Once the tire got on the pavement, the rear tire, knew we were good. Just rolled it up and it was fine from there. So certainly, big shout out to Kevin and Kim. You know who you are. And again, for you as you're watching this, mindset, play. What are you doing to play? How do you respond? Because it's great practice in focusing on, okay, here's the next step. Staying focused on what's the next step, not the larger potential drama, right? Doing it without the emotional drama of what's going on around you. So just a thought for on Monday. We got a lot to talk about. This is going to be important because there's so much coming up in the next 18 months. And we will, I know I keep teasing you about that, saying we're going to talk about it. We will. There's a lot of stuff coming up in the next 18 months that are going to require that in lots of noise, lots of obstacles, lots of potential business threats, negatives, as well as positives that could distract you off of. Here's the next task, next step that needs to be taken in order to navigate your way through it, in order to lead your team through it. Things like this topic, play, practicing staying focused in a chaotic environment that could have serious consequences. Doing that helps set you up for those types of business leadership roles as well. So, food for thought. Thanks for joining for Wolf's Watch. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. And I'm Wolf. This has been Wolf's Watch. Appreciate you being part of it, and I look forward to seeing you on the